Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, who is the most merciful and graceful. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I am Mumtaz Ahmad, the principal of Government Gورنمنٹ post graduate College, Nunnkana Sahib. Today I have the honor of sharing my views regarding Women and Children Welfare Foundation, Sharqpur Sharif, Punjab, Pakistan. I have also the honor of having with me the president of this prestigious organization, Mr. Jamshed Rafiq Malik, who is sitting just beside me. I'm thankful to him as well. Well, it's a matter of immense pleasure and pride for me that today I'm going to discuss my views about this organization, namely Women and Children's Welfare Foundation. Well, the thing is that world as a whole, we know, is suffering from various evils and issues. There is an issue of terrorism, of rampant wars being fought everywhere that are causing the deaths and sufferings of millions of the human subjects, and particularly the children and women. When I heard of this organization, that this is working to uplift the condition of the women, and particularly they are suffering, they are working to save the children from the atrocities of the world. So it was a matter of great satisfaction and pleasure for me, and of course thousands of people like me who want our children to be safe and secure in this world. Mr. Jamshed Rafiq Malik, I must say, is one of those veteran social workers who has taken up this huge responsibility of working for the children and for the women. This organization is particularly working at a large scale for the rights of the children, particularly those children whose lives are at stake, whose respect and honor and dignity is at stake in the wars, in the cruelties and atrocities being committed everywhere in the world. They are working for them. They are working to ensure that those children are, taken away from the clutches of those atrocious people and atrocious institutions. Such an organization was a dire need of the hour, and Mr. Jamshed Rafiq Malik has timely appeared on the scene of social working in Pakistan, and he is contributing enormously and admirably for those children. Well, this is heart-rending to notice that most often the children are seen lying in the ditches. The children are seen being abandoned. The children are seen being maimed. The children are seen being raped. The children are seen in very pathetic and miserable conditions because of number of social factors. There are not many people in the world who take care of those children, who provide them shelter, who provide them food, and who provide to restore to them their dignified social status so that they could also live as honorable human beings in the world. This organization is working with that goal in mind, and I am an eyewitness to that, and I can say with certainty and with a sense of pride, alhamdulillah, that I have seen this man sitting beside me and his team working philanthropically, working with commitment and dedication to restore to these children and women a life of dignity, a life that every individual deserves. Yet another thing that is very pathetic, that is very, very saddening to notice is that most often, the children, especially those whom society call illegitimate or bastard children, even I just cannot utter these words. This is really heart-rending to call them with such names. They do not deserve that, because a child does not come into the world with a will of his own or with a will of her own. That child in the world is always, because of the parents and because of those, who are responsible for bringing that child into this world. But when sometimes those who indulge in physical relations and then do not have the moral courage enough to adopt that child or to give that child his or her name, when they abandon those children, when they throw away those children, then there is no one to help those children, to give them life, to give them security, shelter, and to rear them up, to bring them up. And in such circumstances, these are people like Jamshed Rafiq Malik and his organization who have taken up this huge responsibility of doing that. Similarly, as terrorism, violence, atrocious occurrences in the world are happening at a large scale, at a massive scale, rendering men, women, and children dead, maimed, and paralyzed. So then it becomes a collective responsibility of the whole world. It must shake the conscience of the people of the whole world that they need to take enormous they need to take enormous steps to come forward and do something for humanity. But we see that this work has been taken up only by a few in the world. Organizations like Women and Children Welfare Foundation organization, I often see they go from city to city, they go from town to town, they go from institution to institution, they meet influential and common people, they raise the consciousness of the people about such incidents, they try to restore the dignity of the children and women, they help them at all levels, at moral, at social, at cultural, and even at economic level. That is a huge thing. They, going from spa to spa, going from city to city, they collect funds for them. They raise the consciousness of the people. They spread the knowledge about these people, and of course, they have enormously been successful in in bringing those children and bringing those men in the mainstream society. They have been instrumental in changing the views of the people, in making the people think that these children and women deserve the same status, the same opportunities of life, the same happiness, the same cultural, social and economic well-being that we, the ordinary citizens of the society, are enjoying. And I must say, this was not an easy task. This was not an ordinary task. It needed a huge initiative. It needed a large-heartedness, and it needed, most of all, a marathon commitment and dedication. And this organization has absolutely done it wonderfully, and they are still carrying on the work. There was a need at the local, at the national, and at the international level that the sensitive, philanthropic, and humanitarian sort of people should come forward. They should not only raise a strong voice against this widespread violence we see everywhere, rather they should also do something practically. Just raising the voice is not enough. When you do something practically, when you do something empirically, along with, writing, along with making speeches, along with raising the consciousness of the people, when you do something empirically and positively and radically, so then you are really a great human being, and you are then really doing an admirable service to the humanity. So I have seen with this organization, I have seen it particularly with Jamshed Rafiq Malik Sahib, that they are not only active in the world of journalism, they are not only writing in the newspapers and journals, they are not only using the print and electronic media for the noble cause of bringing to the people all around the world a message of giving women and children a space to live, giving women and children a decent life to spend. But he and his mates are actively, positively engaged in bringing that happiness and that dream life to these deprived children, to these deprived women, to these downtrodden classes, to this subaltern class of the society. And this is not, a less praiseworthy thing. Well, we see that in the last decade of the 20th century and this early decade of the 21st century, the world is still facing the danger of wars. The world is still facing the danger of discrimination of children and women. Those who are powerful, particularly the men, particularly the male, because still the world societies are patriarchal societies. They are male-dominated societies where women and children are considered as weak and helpless and deprived, and hence they are suppressed. But we are very, very hopeful, and we have seen it happening with Jamshed Rafiq Malik, that he has become, and his organization has become, the voice of those depressed, those suppressed classes of the Pakistan, those depressed and suppressed classes of the world. He is doing a job that is being heard and that needs international support, not only from within the Pakistan, but through this message, I would request and I would appeal to the international community as well that they must come forward, they must join hand with Malik Rafiq Sahib, and they must cooperate with him in terms of a mega project that he has started in Pakistan for bringing women and children to a life of respect, dignity, and a kind of life that they really deserve. Children particularly, we see, they are physically helpless, and they are being used by the powerful elites of the society, in a very bad way. They are maltreated, they are mishandled, and thus those children, become crippled for the whole life. They become helpless for the whole life. Their life is completely becomes miserable. But in such circumstances, this is our collective responsibility to, come forward and to help those children, become responsible citizens of the society, to live a decent life. And whereas, we see the general attitude of the society is that we leave these children at the mercy of the inexorable forces of the society. We leave these children at the mercy of the state, or we leave these children at the mercy of the landlords and the capitalists. And thus, we do inhuman act with those children. We behave not as decent human beings. Therefore, I must say that the huge credit goes to the man sitting beside me and his team, that they have really made it happen. They have made a dream come true. They have raised children in their welfare organization. The suppressed and the downtrodden and the abandoned children are being brought up. They are being given a beautiful life. They are treated there with their own children. There are mothers and there are fathers. And those children are now living a pretty happy life. They are having a name of their own in the society. They are no more, being seen or treated or named as illegitimate or as bastard. They are not being given bad names. Instead, they now stand up as honorable, individuals of the society. They are getting education. They are having good food to eat. They are having a good shelter on their heads. And this is the noblest cause. This is the noblest profession. One can think of adopting. Every religion of the world, irrespective of, one is Muslim or Christian or Jew or whatever, every religion of the world stresses on this fact that human beings are equal, that children and women must be protected. They must be provided the fundamental human rights. But unfortunately, the wars, the large-scale violence, and then the unjust social structures have mistreated, have crippled the children and women. But we are absolutely happy and confident that this organization has come forward with a very, very positive message for everyone, that women and children can be given, a decent lifestyle. Those who are at the lowest, stratum of the society, children and women, those, who are at the power and those who have crushed them, there are people like him who can, work together for the decent human life. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, پرفیسر ممتاز احمد صاحب, پرنسپل گورنمنٹ گرونانک پوسٹ گریجویٹ کالج ننکانہ صاحب, ایک بار پھر آپ کا بہت زیادہ شکریہ. آپ نے وومن ان چلڈرن ویلفیئر فاؤنڈیشن کے کام کو واچ کیا بڑی گہری نظر سے, بڑی عمیق نظر سے, اور اس پر اظہار خیال کیا. تھینک یو سو مچ پرفیسر ڈاکٹر ممتاز احمد صاحب, جو کہ PhD انگلش ہیں اور ننکانہ صاحب کی ایک بڑی شخصیت ہیں. اپنے علمی قد کے اعتبار سے, اپنے سوشل مقام کے اعتبار سے میں ان کا بہت زیادہ شکر گزار ہوں, جو انہوں نے انتہائی دیانتداری کے ساتھ, ایسی شخصیات سے کوئی انسان کبھی کمنٹس لے نہیں سکتا. کچھ ہو تو ایسے لوگ کچھ کہتے ہیں, ورنہ ناممکن ہے. تھینک یو سو مچ.